Hola, yeah, bienvenido. Well, hello and welcome back to the channel once again. My name is Andy and we are back with Season 12 and it is Round 6 of the NXTGEN Racing V8 Supercar Championship. It is in sunny Barcelona. Well, obviously we're here last year at the Circuit de Catalunya. Racing on the full GP track and it was absolutely pouring down with rain. We've got some beautiful sunny skies as you can see over in the distance, and we've got a 14 car grid of V8 Supercars taking on the national circuit today with the alternative route, skipping out the last chicane and taking the old version of the track. So we're going to go through the runners and riders in just a moment's time, but it's going to be an interesting race indeed one more time as always here, and we are going to get straight into your runners and riders. First up, pole position for the 28 machine of Boy Raxer. Second in the championship at the moment behind WRT Shadow, and had a heck of a battle last time out at Circuit de Algarve with Shadow, but just couldn't quite get past the Irishman. He stuck it on pole today and it was a heck of a lap time as well. It was around about half a second quicker than anyone else around this short lap, so he'll be hoping to pull away and have a lights to flag victory here today. But trying to stop him will be, of course, the championship leader in the number 8 machine. It is WRT Shadow himself, and he was obviously, as I say, it was half a second, so quite a gap between the pole sitter and everyone else around here in qualifying. But that doesn't mean it's going to be the same in the race, and Shadow will be hoping to keep Raxer behind him and will be then trying to ensure he keeps that championship lead. Speaking of champions, it is last season's champion, NGR Scooby G, third on the grid in the 34 machine, still trying to keep up. He's, as I said last time, he's now over a full race victory behind in terms of a standard race, not ignoring the double points for Bathurst, and he'll be hoping to just stay with these front two, get ahead of one or maybe both of them if they get together in a bit of a tangle a la Hamilton and Vettel, and he'll just be trying to gain back up the ground on them today. But the champion's grip on the championship is slipping by the round. Fourth on the grid is Cam123 Diz Senior, so a number 13 machine on the grid for Cam. I believe this is the first time we've seen Cam in V8s as well, but I do stand to be corrected. Can't find anything in my notes that shows him being on the grid before, so welcome to the grid either way, Cam, and a lovely effort to put the car in fourth. Being a tad of an unknown quantity in terms of race pace, it would be interesting to see how he does today around the Barcelona track. And then fifth on the grid, best qualifying ever in a V8 Supercar, it is Andy81287. Yours truly stunned myself by putting it on fifth place in the grid, and we'll be hoping to avoid going backwards, but I'm getting a bit of a nosebleed being this far up, so who knows what will happen to the 12 machine. Sixth in the grid, the 38 car of Ben Sully. Had a bit of a battle last time out in the Algarve with Andy Ropsky and a few others as well. Couple of spins for that white and flame coloured machine, so we're hoping for a bit of better luck this time, and a bit further up the grid will give him some confidence that he can have a good race today. Seventh on the grid, the 43 machine, it is Slider Gas, 628. And again, he was backwards a wee bit from time to time at the Algarve. Few spins in Fuji as well after a first lap incident, so he'll be trying to avoid hassle today. But being in the middle of the grid's never really where you want to be going into what is a tight turn one. Eighth in the grid, the 15 machine, the cash show of Radovan, and he's obviously now becoming a bit of a season regular, which is fantastic to see. Keeping it in the middle area of the grid, showing that he's got some good speed as well, and he's starting to become a regular on the grid, as I say, and it is great to see some new faces sticking around in the championship. And then we've got Whitford in the 77 car. Missed out last time at the Algarve. Disconnection happened, I do believe, to the 77 car, which is a shame because he has been towards the top 6 in the championship race, and he'll be hoping to try and avoid any changes to that happening today, and he'll be hoping to get up the grid to gain some more points. 10th on the grid, the 44 machine rounding out the top 10. It is Vidakas, and the Czech driver will be hoping to move forward, avoid any hassle into that tricky turn 1 and gain more points today. He is again with Whitford in around that sort of mid-table part of the championship, around 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. And another one around that area is RS Jim in the 1 machine, 11th on the grid. We've not seen the sort of speed we've seen last year from Jim, certainly not in qualifying, with some of the newer faces in here as well. He has dropped back a little bit, but he's still an extremely quick driver on his day, and certainly not one to be counted out even from this far back in the grid. He can still get up the grid and make a podium. And then it's the hometown man, well, maybe not hometown, but it's the home country favourite himself anyway. It is Edu, but he's all the way back in 12th on his home track. And it was a tricky qualifying for the Spaniard due to a number of issues after the update from Project Cars. Seemed to have issues with the drive hub, with calibration of the wheel, and it was causing him problems during qualifying, and he is all the way back in 12th. Ropski's 13th in the number 7 machine. He'll be hoping to move forward, and he'll hope to not lose too much ground to Andy after his stunning qualifying in 5th. So he'll be hoping that Andy comes all the way back towards him before the end of the race, as they two fight once again towards their own personal championship battle. And last on the grid is I'm not even going to try it. It's OP, right? That's it. As good as it's getting. Sorry, mate. But it's number 10 machine, the OP. And he is on the back of the grid here, and we're hoping to move forward. We did have a few other drivers as well. We actually did have 16 in at qualifying. We did have NGR Lager Fanny himself back once again, along with Envy Extreme, but both of those guys disconnected, and I do know that Lager had issues again, like Edu, with the drive hub connection, which seems to have happened since the 4 gig update patch that came yesterday to the game. So hopefully that's something that won't happen moving forward. And by the looks of it though, I do have some timings today, so I might be able to keep up with what's going on. But let's get to the action itself. The lights are on, and we're underway. That looked like a good start from Shadow, or was it? We'll soon find out. He's managed to take the lead. Andy's in the middle, getting swallowed up and going backwards. Here comes Scooby to the side. The boy Raxer, the pole sitter's going backwards already into turn 1. It's really tight, national circuit, remember. And we're going round, and can we see any action going backwards, keeping up to date? In the midfield, keeping it tight. We're following Radovan here through turns 2 and 3, coming up to La Campsa. Coming through the left right-hander, and then obviously it's the chicane. There's, and Andy's all the way back to 9th. That was Edu, no, boy Raxer, sorry, going across the grass. Andy's getting sideways. Edu there towards the back. So Andy's already lost a number of places. And as you can see, there's the alternative route. We are taking the long way round rather than the tight hairpin. We're taking the old version of the track. But we jump back to the front, and WRT Shadow has got the jump on boy Raxer. However, it was a jump start from the championship leader, and he does have a drive-through penalty. The drive-through penalty for the number 8 machine, jump start. That's how he's managed to get ahead. So it is boy Raxer who is still in first position, albeit not on the road. And Andy's in the wall. That's Andy in the wall with, I believe it's Slider, or is it Vida? Just trying to find out. It is Vida. They're getting sideways coming out of the last corner, and there's Ropski going to the side of Andy. There's Whitford getting sideways. There's Jim off as well. Edu's getting through. Whitford's managed to control himself. Andy trying to have a go at Jim as well. So action all over the place, but it's Shadow leading at the moment from boy Raxer. Scooby's in 3rd, Cam's in 4th, Ben's up to 5th from Andy's demise down towards the back of the field now. Radovon 6th, Whitford 7th, Edu now up to 8th as you can see, and Jim sideways and drifting it through the chicane onto the grass. That's going to allow the number 12 machine through and up into 9th place as they come through the running continuous. And there's Ropski round, and that's a collision there with OP as well in the 10 machine, and a bit of lag there from the Belgium as well. Maybe that contributed to the spin, who knows, but he is now at the back, apart from Slidergas, who has been collected up somewhere along the lines as well. Action-packed stuff, obviously very short lap. We're already on to lap 3 of 27 here, and the action just keeps on coming down towards turn 1. You can see them all in shot. Try to keep an eye. It's Shadow from Boy Raxa. Top 2 in the championship, top 2 in the road. In fact, top 3 in the championship and the top 3 on the road at the moment. But as I say, that number 8 machine, drive-through penalty for jumping the start. It'll be interesting to see when he takes it. He'll be trying to maybe eke out a bit of a lead to try and take it. But this pit lane here at the Circuit de Catalunya is a long one indeed. So it's going to be very hard for him to do that in time. We are going to jump back. There's Cam, he's on his own, and Radovon has got Ben for company coming down towards the left-hander. Andy has got Jim trying to keep tabs on him. They come through there, and there is Vida with Edu behind him. And that's Vida getting sideways there. Edu's going to go up the inside, but it means Vida's got the inside for the next corner, which is a tight second gear right-hander up the hill, but Edu right the way round the outside. Lovely move into the chicane section at the end of the track, but that is Edu up into 10th place from his starting position through the chicane. Nice little move, took advantage of a mistake, and he is now into the top 10. Here's OP into 12th. You got Ropsky 13th, and I think Slider's going to have Ropsky in just a second. Boy Raxer though back into the lead of the race. He's got by him going into turn 1, I believe that will have been, so that's a pass for position that he didn't need to do, but he's done it anyway. He's obviously got the pace round here. He's ran a bit wide there onto the grass, but gets away with it very nicely, and that is him back into the lead of the race outright without the need to worry about that drive-through penalty for the number 8 machine. Can he pull away now and make a gap to the rest of them? The top 3 are within about 3 seconds, and then it's Radovan now in 5th place, so he's got past Ben, and he's about 3 to 4 seconds back from the top 4. So the top 4 being able to get away pretty quickly from everyone else at this current point in time. Jim's got back past Andy, so Andy's had a bit of an issue. He's now got Edu behind him. He throws it into the chicane, and that was Ropsky off and into the gravel again down at the alternative route on the track. So he is now in last place. Look at the lap time now that Raxer's in the lead. 1 minute 11.5, a stunning lap time from the 28 machine. So he is now trying to pull the lead out over a second already from the championship leader, and he's just flying away, using the curb, using the grass a little bit as well. It's brave doing that, but if you can get it right and keep it within the white lines, you're doing well. But he is on his merry way, and apart from that initial part, he may be on his way to a pole to victory from pole, albeit just not quite lights the flag on this occasion. Comes down to the chicane. We're going to just run back through the field. And there's Radovan coming up the hill. He's got a wee bit of gap over Ben at the moment. Radovan showing some very good pace round here. He was unlucky in Fuji, remember, a couple of races ago, caught up in the first corner, first lap accident that involved Slidergas and Andy. That cost him a lot of time, and he fell right to the back of the field. You can see Jim now trying to catch up to Whitford. Andy's dropped back down the field as well. Edu and Slider have got past him as well, and he's now got He's all over the place there as Andy. Slidey. Let's have a look at Vida. There we go. Not doing too much at the moment. And here comes Ropsky through the chicane, and OP is trundling along at the back at the moment. Quite new to the series, still getting used to the car, and hopefully he will be quick before long, I am sure of it. We are going to jump, however, to... I think we're going to watch Whitford, because Jim's starting to catch up to Whitford. So we're going to watch this battle for 7th just now. You see lap times 14.6 for Whitford last time round, a 13.4 for Jim. So he's took 1.2 seconds out of him last lap. And you can see the 77 machine getting just a little bit sideways, coming through the turn 10 at Lacaxia, taking the extra alternative route to the normal corner, of course. And they are both starting to catch up to Ben ahead as well. Ben Sully in the keep forgetting the numbers on these cars sometimes. Actually, oh, Ben's on the curb there sideways. Keeps it together in that 38 machine. That was the number I was looking for. But Jim has got the slipstream on Whitford. Can he do anything into turn 1? It's a very short braking zone. Around about 100 metres. He's thinking about it. Whitford sideways. Holds it together, oh, very nicely. But they are both catching up to Ben. 14.5 for Ben, 14.4 for Whitford, 14.0 for Jim. Look at Vida behind them on a 13.8, so he'll be catching up before long if they don't get a move on. We do have 4 seconds before the jet driver will catch up to them. Edu's fell back. Where is the Spaniard? And he's pulling off to the side of the road, and that is a retirement from the race for the Spaniard at his home race. He retired from the race last season as well here, and again it was to be issues with the setup due to the update, and that is just not what you want to see at all. And that is a retirement on lap 6 for the 29 machine as the leader goes through to start lap 8 of the race. Cam is now up to second as he's got back. In fact, he's got ahead of both Scooby and WRT as we went through that field, so completely missed that going through everyone else. Cam is now up to second. Did they two collide? I thought having the timings would make things easier for me, but no, I seem to still be missing things. It just shows you what happens when you're trying to do things live. You miss out. Plus I'm trying to direct as well, give me a break. So Cam up to second, Shadow still in third. He's still got that penalty to take. He's now up to lap 8, so it's going to be interesting when he takes it. Is he, is there a point he has to take it? Surely got to be. Radovan still 5th, Ben is still 6th, Whitford still 7th at the moment. Jim's still in 8th, Vida's in 9th, it's Slider in 10th, or quite a bit back. Andy's in 11th, Ropsky 12th, and OP at the back in 13th is now a lap down. Excuse me. Look at the lap time up front, 1 minute 12.4 from Boy Raxa. Yeah, something's happened. Look at the lap time for Shadow, a 19.3. Cam's dropped back now. So, things going on everywhere. Where's Cam? He's dropped right the way back. Radovan's now ahead of him as well, so action's everywhere just as you look, and it happens in the blink of an eye. Really hard to keep up to date with everything, and directing as well. There you go, from second to 5th in the space of a minute. Blink and you'll miss it. That's the joys of action here on the V8 Supercar Championship NXTGEN Racing as the number 13 gets sideways coming out through there, coming up to La Campsa. But if you do want to join, links below in the description for our Facebook page, also to our Twitter page as well. If you do want to sign up, it's full at the moment, but there's usually a spot every week for someone to join in as a filler for a one-off week. And if you do enjoy it and you end up being regular enough in the filler spot, you can end up with a regular spot in the championship. If the V8s aren't for you though, GT3 leagues on a Wednesday. We've also got spots in Assetto Corsa and GT Sport as well. League racing every night of the week from Monday through to Sunday. All on PS4 only at NXTGEN Racing. We're on to lap 10 as we watch this battle for 4th. Radovan seems to be getting a bit of a gap over. And there's Whitford sideways, that's going to give Jim the run. Jim's going to be through, and he is. That's Jim up to 7th, Whitford down to 8th, and Vida's going to have a go now. Whitford getting very sideways coming out the final turn at turn 16. Well, turn 16 on the full length version of the track anyway. And the 77 machine just starting to slip back from being upwards as high as 5th and 6th at one point. He's just starting to fall a little bit back. He'd made up time, made up ground from the early start. Just dropping away a little bit now. And he'll be hoping to just try and stop that from happening before very much longer. And there he's off again into the gravel. And that's going to allow Vida through, so that's Vida through to 9th. Whitford down, sorry, Vida through to 8th, Whitford down to 9th. And our move for position, so Whitford goes from 7th to 9th in the space of a lap, going off there through the additional part, coming out of La Campsa at turn, what is turn 9, La Campsa, sorry, at what is turn 9 on the full length version of the track, and he is now down to 9th place. We've got WRT Shadow, there's Scooby. We're actually going to drop back to Radovon, who's got Cam, and they've got the back marker, the OP and the 10 machine, who's staying well out of the way, so well done to him. Fantastic to see him staying out of the way. Cam trying to get back into that 4th place where he started this race as well. Not much else going on down through the field, and that's the, there you go, it's OP going off. Cam's right in the slipstream of Radovon here though. What can he do? Can he make this happen into the alternative section of the track? Cam will just sometimes maybe cut, not on this occasion, so we're okay. I finally found myself an actual picture of the track that shows me the corner numbers properly. Took me long enough. Usually more prepared than this. Not on this occasion, but there you go. So, down into the chicane. 15 machine goes through. That 13 machine right on his tail. Can he get a good run out of turn 11 at New Holland? And down the straight in the slipstream. There's Ben in the background just keeping tabs. And Shadow's in the pits. Shadow in the pits taking his drive through. That is an absolute killer. You can see him just falling down the order as everyone streams by. He's down to 9th. Is he going to lose 10th? Let's try and see. Here he is coming out. Slider's coming down the straight now. He's lost 10th, so he's finally taken the drive through and he's dropped down to 10th place. Has the championship leader, so that puts Scooby G up in the 2nd now as he's coming through turn 7. Radovon's now in 3rd, Cam 4th. Cam's actually off into the gravel, there he is. That's going to give Ben a chance to get through. Will he take it coming up the hill towards turn 9? They're going to be side by side through here. Cam trying to hold it out round the outside. Ben's got the inside, the 38, and that is a move through for position. That is P4 for Ben Sully, the 38 machine, but that 13 machine looks feisty. Wants that position back, but good move through turn 9 at Banc de Sabadella, I think is how you say that. I'm not going to try and pronounce that one any time again soon, no. I must be completely honest with you. It was a move for position, so it's Raxer in the lead. We've not seen much of him. He's still setting laps in the 1:12s consistently. NGR Scooby G in 2nd now. Radovon in 3rd. We've just seen him go through screenshot. Ben's now in 4th. It's Cam in 5th. Is that a contact? I don't know. But Cam's through. I don't know if that was contact or Ben just getting a bit sideways and a slight tap, but Cam is through. And he obviously feels that it was a fair move, and he is on his way back into 4th place where he started. So that is a move back for position, gaining back that position he lost this time. This position almost last lap round. Can Ben make a move back through to get it back? Certainly not going to do it here without a mistake. Going back through the field as the camera cuts, we can see Ben there going through. There is RS Jim, he's in 6th place. Vida coming through in 7th. Whitford still there in 8th. With Shadow now 9th. Slider off in the gravel there, so we just got the end of that. There comes Andy through as well, so he's going to take 10th now from Slider. So it's Andy now in 10th, Slider in 11th as he come through turn 7 at Lacaxia. And there's the back marker OP off, keeping well out of the way. Well done to him for doing that. Coming up the hill at turn 9 into turn 10. Now we've got Rotsky just coming up the hill now. It's been pretty easy sailing for the pole sitter, who's not far from making a double lapping on the OP in the 13 machine. In the 10 machine, sorry. 13 is obviously for Cam. Get the numbers mixed up. It just seems to be easy sailing. What we're going to do actually, show you the track. Let's take a ride on board with your race leader for a lap round the national version of the Circuit de Catalunya. Come powering down the front straight, over the start finish line. There's the Edu on the right, retired. Well out the way, and then on the brakes just before the 100 metre mark. Down to 2nd gear, keep it tight. See about 80 kilometres an hour, so around about 50 miles an hour roughly. And then keep it in gear through here. Up a gear to 3rd to avoid the wheel spin, use the curb. 4th gear, then down to 3rd through Lacampsa, up to 4th again, down to 3rd, use the curb, and again on the exit 4th to avoid the wheel spin, and then up to Lacaxia, and then it's hard on the brakes, down to 2nd just on the apex there just to help the turn in, up the hill, turn 8, turn 9, very easy to get this wrong. You've got to be patient at the throttle, it can easily just drag you out. And then hard on the brakes also, because of the layout we can't take the old version with the sweeping turns, so we've got to take the chicane as normal. Bumping across there, across that, through the final corner, hard on the power, and that is a quick lap off the national circuit with the alternative route that we're using today as well. So there you go. Radovan's got company soon. I think Cam's going to be catching back up before long, so he's going to have to be careful. Look at that lap time last time, 12.3 to 13.8, so keep an eye on that. The one at the moment is Ben has got Jim for company, and as you can see, very little to separate the two of them on here at all as they come across to start the 16th lap of this 27 lap race here on NXTGEN Racing at the Circuit de Catalunya. You can see Vidicaz in the background trying to keep up there in 7th. There's Whitford in 8th. Now we've got Shadow in 9th trying to make his comeback through the field. Slider's back into 10th, having passed Andy. He's been off in the last lap, so he's trying to recover. We'll come back to the main action. You've seen his last lap time though, Andy, 1:28, so he was off somewhere, and that's allowed Slider to get back through. So, coming through Campsa, and then through the chicane. Ben a little bit on the grass there, but he's managed to pull a little bit of a gap over Jim, just about a second. So, if this had been F1, he'd be out of DRS zone by about now. So he'd be quite happy with that, normal circumstances. But this is V8, 650 horsepower, available under your right foot. And obviously as well, don't be scared to come and join us at NXTGEN either, because in this league especially, the assists are up to yourself. You can race with all of them or none of them, it's entirely your choice. So it is catered for everyone, and it is all about enjoying yourself and having fun. And as I say, if you do want to join, descriptions down below. Jim having a look, just trying to make his opponent uneasy. Ben's having none of that though. Jim's going to get a good run out of here, so this could be interesting. Coming up here. I'm going to jump in a wee minute though, because Cam is really reeling in Radovan, but we can't really leave this action here. The fight for 5th, but we need to keep an eye on that fight for 3rd. That's about to change shortly as well. So we'll try and skip between the two. Half a second between either of them. The only other real action on the track is this one here, as Shadow catches up to Whitford. And Whitford getting a bit sideways, a bit squirrely under braking. So we've got 3 lots of action here. We've got Radovan and Cam for 3rd, Ben and Jim for 5th, and we've got Whitford and Shadow for 8th. If Shadow recovers from his drive-through penalty. No other real action on the track at the moment, although Ropsky is reeling in Andy a little bit at the moment after his incident. So we'll try and see what we can keep with as these two come through. Radovan's managed to keep Cam behind them for the moment. Ben looks to have enough of a gap down the straight. We can see Whitford in the background, so we'll jump to them. Shadow's got a good run on a slipstream. Can he do it down here? Coming down towards the first turn, lap 18. He's looking to the inside, hard on the brakes for the number 8 machine. It's a good move from the number 8 machine, and that is Shadow up and into 8th place. Hard on the brakes, put it up the inside, and cleanly through. Very nice move indeed. And that is him on his way into 8th. Whitford down to 9th place. And Whitford onto the grass. That's a big shunt into the wall. Good job the damage is off in this league, because that would have been probably terminal. That is going to allow Slider to get through and up into 10th. So that's Whitford down to 10th place. I don't know if maybe he's been having some issues. Maybe with the wheel as well, possibly, with a recent update. A few of them post-race were complaining about the update messed about with some of their settings. making it feel very uncomfortable. So we just missed that there. I was just about to skip to it, but Cam has just got up the inside of Radovon there into turn 1, so we just missed that one. And RS Jim's got by Ben as well, so we've missed both of them as I try to keep an eye on everything. As we've seen Whitford fly off into the gravel, Jim is now past Ben for 5th, and Cam is back up into 3rd, having got past Radovon. So your running order coming up into the final stages of the race. So the leader is about to start lap 20. It is Boy Raxer leading, has been leading most of the race except the first couple of laps from his pole position. NGR Scooby G is in 2nd place, about 14 seconds down now from the pole sitter. Cam that you're watching here is in 3rd, Radovon 4th, following through. That pass just happened there into turn 1 on this lap. RS Jim is 5th, and he's already got himself a little bit of a gap over Ben, who's in 6th, so that'll be happy for him. Vidicaz, you can see there Vida in the background in 7th. Shadow is in 8th now that he's got past Whitford. Slider in 9th after Whitford went off into the gravel, coming out of Campsa, who is in 10th for Whitford. Andy's in 11th. You can see Ropsky in 12th. And is that Ropsky going off? No, it wasn't. And then OP is down in 13th from the number 10 car, and he's a couple of laps off the pace as well. But again, for when you're new here, you've got to learn your way around things, and you've got to start somewhere. So don't be disheartened, my friend. Things do happen, and you will get better. I had to start somewhere myself. I was rubbish at first too, so don't worry about it. We all start somewhere. I'm still rubbish. So there you go. So yeah, a few moves for position there, and we completely missed them because of the action going on with Whitford flying into the tyre wall, having lost the place to Shadow, and then flying off coming out of Campsa. So we missed Jim going by Ben, and we just caught the end of Cam going past Radovon. So everyone's starting to settle down now. We're only about 7 laps to go. Lap 21 of 27. Leaders on. Still setting one about 12s there at the front. One about 12.2. His pole lap, I think if I remember rightly, was a 111.2. Absolutely stunning lap time. Good half a second quicker than anyone else. So it really was an incredible lap from the 28 machine. And he's merrily on his way, and this should give him the championship lead as well, I believe. Moving forward, there goes OP into the gravel, possibly doing that on purpose to stay out of the way of the guys behind them. He stays out of the way of Radovon as well. Jim's managed to pull himself 2.2 seconds and Ben behind him, so he'll be happy with that. Vida has now got Shadow for company, and they're both catching up to Ben as well, so Shadow trying to limit the damage from that drive-through penalty in the jump start. The closing stages here, that 8 machine coming back through the field, dropped as low as 10th, remember, when he came out the pits, into 8th at the moment. He's trying to get back up to 7th. 6th, I would say, could be on the cards. He's got the pace for it. Will he have enough laps, is the question. As Murray Walker used to say, catching them is one thing, getting past is quite another. Although if Vida makes a mistake into the first part of the chicane like that again, it could be quite easy for the championship leader to get through. Out the last corner, sideways for the 44 machine. Shadow's going to follow him to get the slipstream right the way out. That's probably going to be quite an easy pass, but Vida does have the inside line. He's passed at the moment, Shadow, and I think Vida's just decided to let it go. Shadow comes across the bows quite aggressively on the replay. It might not have been like that in the game, possibly a bit of lag causing that, but he's through, no incidents. Vida possibly realising that he had lost the position and decided not to fight it, knowing that he did have a quicker driver ahead, and maybe deciding to use the number 8 car to try and catch up to Ben ahead instead, which could be a good tactic for the rest of the last parts of the race coming up. There's Andy in 10th and Ropsky in 11th. You can see OP in 12th, but he is down. And Whitford, unfortunately, has disconnected from the race somewhere within the last time we've seen. So they've both moved up, and yes, that car's definitely not meant to be there. Not meant to be at that part of the car. Definitely not. We're back to trackside, so Everyone was behind from Slider was obviously up ahead in 9, so from 9th upwards have moved up. So Andy's now 10th, Rotsky 11th, OP's in 12th, and those are your runners. But it's Boyrax are up the front. 15.2 seconds, 15.3 seconds, sorry, ahead of Scooby G. I think Scooby's probably just settling in to try and keep enough of a gap to Cam behind, but it's only 4 seconds, so he's going to need to be careful. And last season's champion, or he could get caught by Cam in that 13 machine, so he's going to need to be careful. That blue car's coming for the green machine. The green lean mean machine is getting caught. Scooby G, you better take a Scooby snack. He's coming for you. There's Jim going by OP. Ben's there. Ben's round, and it's Ben on the side. He's spinned it. He's lost the place to Shadow, so Shadow's up to 6th. Vida's up to 7th now, so Ben down to 8th. That was not what he wanted to do. He was having a very good race there, the 38 machine, and that has just dropped him down a couple of places. Looked like he was on for about 6th or 7th place. It's quite possible Shadow might have caught him by the end of, depending on the speed, but that spin there into the alternative section of the track has cost him 2 places, and he's down to 8th place on the racetrack now, so not what he wanted. He's still in the top 8 at this point in time. Maybe look to stay there for the rest of the race, but lap 24 for the leaders, 15 seconds. 16 seconds in fact. You can see 2nd and 3rd on tracks. This is probably going to be the battle to watch for the rest of the race, along with can Shadow catch up to RS Jim. Those are your 2 battles to keep an eye on, I would say, although Vida and Ben are close, but that's because obviously of what's just happened. Andy seems to have pulled a bit of a gap on Ropsky at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on Scooby for the moment, last season's champion. Had a lot of it his own way last year, won quite a few races, a lot of pole positions. But this season, especially with Shadow and Raxer about, it's not had it all his own way. Still been quick, still been getting the podiums, but not quite been able to get the wins the way he did last season. And as I said at the start, with no disrespect meant of course, but that championship's slowly starting to tick away from Scooby G. That's certainly not what he'll be wanting. Very competitive racer, races in many leagues here on NXTGEN. Although not like that he doesn't. That's more akin to being on Dirt Rally, but he recovered that one well. Races in many leagues though. Monday Night Tourers, Clio Cup on Saturdays. Does the Jaretta League on Friday as well. So many different races done by the NGR man himself. And this is one that he has done for quite a while now, I believe. And that championship that he won last year would have been oh so sweet, considering what fashion he won it by. This season's just not having it his own way with Shadow and Raxer about. It's just not quite happening. You can see Cam is catching though. Last lap round, Scooby 14.1, Cam a 12.9. So that's a 1.2 seconds there, all because of that mistake, and he's drifting it through turn 1, Scooby, so he's going to need to be careful. He's only got this lap and the next to go. Rax are still putting in 12s even with the last laps. Incredible stuff. We're going to need to follow this for now though. Look at this. Jim has got Shadow for company. Can he make it back to 5th? He's got 2 laps to do it, but it's very short laps of course. Jim's off, he might even do it now. Up the inside. The one machine needs to give him the space. Oh, he comes across, but he does it fairly but harshly, but he does it, and that is 5th place for the 8 machine. That might just make the difference when it comes to the championship standings. We shall see what that does, but that is a 5th place, and that's a recovery after the drive-through, and that is him up into 5th, so as long as he doesn't go off, it's going to be a good recovery after the drive-through, dropping down to 10th. Jim is 6th, but he'll be happy with that, having started 12th. He would have taken that at the start. Very good race for him. Ropsky catching up to Andy, coming into the final stages. Andy getting a bit raggedy into the final parts here, so keep an eye on them in terms of what might happen. But where's going on here with these two? Final lap. Scooby looks like he's got enough. He's got 2.8. So we're going to follow your race leader, and it has been a pretty Simple race here for Boy Raxer in the 28 machine. Took the pole position by over half a second, got jumped at the start by Shadow, but it was due to a jump start. Took the lead back though on track, didn't wait for the penalty to take effect, and he's just driven away from them at the front. And it is a win at the Circuit de Catalunya for Boy Raxer in the 28 machine. He takes the checkered flag. It is another win for him, and he'll be happy with that. That might just make the difference in the championship standings. We come back through the field. Scooby G has got enough of a gap to Cam. He comes through in the 34 machine for second. Another podium position there for him. Cam will take third. There's Andy and Ropsky over the line, a lap down, so that's 10th and 11th. So Cam's in third. We're just going to wait here. There's Radovon coming through. He's going to take fourth. Very good result for him, showing the pace that he does have. Fuji was a bit of a one-off due to the first lap incident. Shadow's going to hold on for fifth. Good recovery after the drive-through and the jump start, so he's going to get fifth place. Jim will take sixth. Good driving from both. Good recovery from the Irishman. We'll need to see what that does for the championship. Vida takes seventh. And there's Slider and Ben out the last corner, side by side. Who's going to take it? Slider. Ben sneaks it on the line. Unbelievable. Ben takes it on the line. Amazing. Looks like he done just enough there, did Ben, to take it. So I think Ben got 8th, Slider 9th, Andy was 10th, Ropsky in 11th, and OP in 12th. Well, what a race that was, eh? Another exciting round of next-gen V8 Supercar action, and it was a win for Boy Raxer in the end. The pole sitter taking home the glory here today, and you can see the difference. A 1:11.5, Scooby managed a 1:11.9. Shadow's the only one closer to that at 1:12.0, and apart from Slider getting a 1:12.8, everyone else was at least a 13 apart from Cam. So you can just see the difference in speed between the pole sitter and the winner and pretty much everyone else. Just absolutely fantastic around here from Boy Raxer, and it does mean he does take the championship lead now, if I've done my calculations correctly. 40 points for the win, 2 points for the pole position, means he's now on 217 points compared to Shadow's 209, so taking a deficit into a lead of 8 points moving into the next round. Scooby G maintains third on 178, but falling back even further from the lead. Edu drops down to 5th, with Jim moving up into 4th place, 5 points between them, 110 to 105. Vida still stays in 6th place on 85 points. Your biggest movers underneath the top 6 are Radovan and Cam. Now, I did say in the start, Cam, I didn't realise had actually been racing, so I put my hands up. I was wrong. So he and Cam Rado have been the ones to move up the order the most today on the back of their performances. So they could be into that battle for the top 6 and even the top 4 before very long if they can keep that performance going. Shadow obviously took 5th there, as we said, a good recovery after the drive-through from his jump start. Jim in 6th there, obviously now on the 4th, and I don't like saying it, but you could say best of the rest behind the top 3, who are already quite a bit away from everyone else in terms of points. Vida in 7th, Slider in 8th, so Team Czech Republic taking 7th and 8th. Ben in 9th, he could have been up in 7th if it wasn't for a spin towards the end of the race, costing him a couple of places, and he held on for 10th from Ropsky, who was closing in very quickly at the end, albeit they two were a lap down. Ropsky was 11th, OC in the 10 machine was 12th. Whitford obviously disconnected, don't know what happened, could have been an issue with the update possibly, but he was 13th, and we seen Edu was obviously off early doors as well due to the issues that he had, and he was 14th. But that is it for another week of Next Gen action. Now next week is a rest week. There will be a sort of time trial event which will have small championship point implications, but it is a technical rest week. There's going to be point-to-point action, so I don't think there'll be any video from that next week. The next race is in 2 weeks' time, and it is the home of V8 Supercars. It is Bathurst, Mount Panorama in Australia, New South Wales, and it's possible, like last year, that one might be broadcast live on the NXTGEN Racing YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to them, give them a sub as well, so you don't miss out on the live action from that race. If it's not, then I might be able to drop into it, but it is a double points race and it is a longer race, and as we all know, the Project Cars recording only records so much. So the next time I'll probably be back will be in probably 3 weeks' time for the next normal length race, which, if I have got my sums correct and got my calendar correct, I do believe is actually at the Silverstone Classic. In fact, no, sorry. The next race is Silverstone Classic in 2 weeks, and then it's Mount Panorama. So I've got those two mixed up. So we're actually going to Silverstone in 2 weeks' time for the Classic track, and that will be a reverse grid race as well. So championship standings I've just given you, with Raxer first, Shadow second and Scooby third. Those three will start from the back. So that'll all be sorted out, and you'll see exactly how that will go down in 2 weeks' time. Then we'll have Mount Panorama before we go on to the rest of the season. But as always, my name's Andy. Thank you very much for joining me once again. If you haven't already, do hit subscribe, hit the like button as well. But until next time and the next video, I'll see you again soon. Ta-da!